Welcome to Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Joe Karachi. I'm the Director of Public Works and going to be your host here for this session today. Today we're going to be discussing SCARCE. We have Kay McKean, the Executive Director of SCARCE, here today. Welcome, Kay.
Hi.
We can just start out by letting us know what SCARCE is. What does it stand for?
So SCARCE is a not-for-profit, and it stands for School and Community Assistance for Recycling and Composting Education, which is a pretty long name.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
And I appreciate the acronym. So tell us a little bit about what you guys do.
So SCARCE, with our name, we really do a lot of teaching people about composting and teaching people about proper recycling and what can be recycled and what can't and why and those kinds of things. How to conserve resources is what we work on. But recently we were talking, and when you think about all of our programs, we're talking about reducing pollution. Because when you recycle, you conserve resources, but you also reduce pollution. So everything we do kind of focuses on if we can reduce pollution rather than try and fix it up later. It'd be help.
So do you have a standard mission statement, or that basically summarizes it?
We're trying to inspire people to take action and care for the planet, yes. So
what are some of the accomplishments you guys have made at SCARCE?
Wow, we started in 1990, so we've been talking trash a long time. But I think we have a great partnership with DuPage County, and we have the Earth Flag program. Just about every school in DuPage County has earned our Earth Flag. All the Bensenville schools have earned our Earth Flag and so forth. And so we teach a lot, but we work with businesses and helping them to reduce the waste that they have or save energy. And then they can earn our Earth Flag park districts, libraries. So the Earth Flag program is pretty great. The book rescue is probably one of my favorite programs. Families, schools, libraries, businesses bring us books they no longer need, paperback, hardcover. And we go through them because books from our program have gone to kids all over DuPage County, all over Illinois. But after natural disasters, Hurricanes Rita and Katrina, we just sent books to Houston. We just sent 63 boxes to Puerto Rico.
Nice.
So the book rescue, 58 countries so far have been able to have books to fill libraries or start schools, and we feel really good about that. The books aren't going to the landfill, which is the environmental part. We aren't cutting down more trees to make the books. And a lot of times, just right here in DuPage County, we have 63 languages spoken. So bilingual dictionaries are really important, and encouraging reading with the really youngest of kids.
Right.
Books are one of those treasures.
Yep. I know you have also a prescription drug box program. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we've been working really hard on keeping medicines out of our water, and the medical profession, for years didn't have an answer to tell people, but they didn't want medicines just sitting in cabinets, so they tell you to flush it down the toilet or pour it down the drain. Well, now we all know that medicine's in our water. When our water goes to the water sanitary treatment centers, they don't get medicines out. So we worked really hard, and we brought the RX box program that started in Springfield to DuPage County a number of years ago. And then that program didn't have any more funding. It continues to fund those cities, but some of the cities weren't able to get on board right then. So we've written grants, and so we were able to work with the eScript program, and
Good.
That's how we purchased the one for your Bensenville Police Department.
Great. I also know you do recycling extravaganzas. We've held them here in Bensenville in the past, so can you talk about how many of those you do a year?
Oh my goodness. We started the recycling extravaganzas in Wheaton, and I think we're over 40 communities now around northern Illinois. Pretty fun. Yeah. But basically it's an event to help other things get recycled easily so that people don't have to drive one place for one thing and one place for another thing. On a Saturday morning, unload scrap metal, electronics, eyeglasses and hearing aids for the Lions Clubs. Just kind of a one-stop place. Everybody's busy, so if we could put it in one parking lot once or twice a year in a town.
Correct.
Yep. Get more things out of our landfills and get them to people in need.
Good.
As well as help those community groups get their programs going.
Good. You also mentioned you have been downstate in Springfield doing some laws and creating some laws. Can you touch a little bit more about some of the different laws you've done?
The first law that I wrote really was to ban the sale of glass mercury thermometers. You wash them at the kitchen sink and you hit the edge of the sink or you hit the faucet.
It's been done.
It's been done, and then the mercury goes straight down the drain,
yeah.
And that's impossible for us to get out right now. So that was one of the first laws. We wrote the law for school buses not to idle. They're idling in front of our schools, and one thing in our taxes, we pay for school buses, and of course that includes the fuel. Yep. So when diesel engines are idling, it's costing money for the fuel, but it also we found out in the research, Sandy Pios helped us with that, we found out that the diesel engines really, it's hard on their engines to idle, and it causes an increase of up to 30% of maintenance costs. which we didn't know till we did a lot of research. You probably know that.
I know that.
And so we wrote the law for school buses and diesel engines not to idle. And Springfield changed it a little bit, but I'm really glad it's there. I wish it was more like what they've got in Canada and Connecticut, where diesel engine buses, whatever, pull up and turn off, and they don't turn on again until they're ready to go. Right. And they gave them 10 minutes. And a lot of people don't understand the law. The law is 10 minutes in any 1 hour. It's not 10 minutes at one time. So we could improve the air quality and protect our kids better if all the buses and so forth did it that way. But it's a start.
Yep. And I know one other program that's kind of close to me, being a public works director, is the cooking oil.
Yes.
Drop-off spots. So we deal a lot with fats, oil, and grease in our sanitary sewer. It causes blockages, backups, things like that.
So
anything that we can do to encourage people to recycle their kitchen oil, their used kitchen oil, and you made a big impact on that.
Yeah, we've really tried, and we'd like to get more going. We were so grateful. The DuPage Foundation gave us a grant to start that program, where they actually funded the cost of the collection bins for us, and so that towns could get started. And yeah, it'll save money for homeowners too, because when they're pouring down their drain, it's a great way to have the plumber come and clean out your drains. And the #1 time is around Thanksgiving. You have a lot of extra people over, you don't use enough water for your garbage disposal, even for your potato peels, and then you add grease.
Yes.
And then the second thing we're trying to work on is those wipes. A lot of those hand wipes and face wipes, they tell you they're flushable. Well, they'll go down the toilet, but it doesn't mean they get out.
Correct.
And they stick to the fogs, the fats, oils, and grease. Now you've got that combination, and it costs all of us money. And then you're chopping out the street and the sidewalk and the parkway and the curb. And oftentimes when it's cold out, and rarely is it on a weekday, it's on the weekends, right?
Yep.
So we're trying to get more people educated, whether it's used cooking oil for frying tacos or French fries or whatever you're frying, or turkeys, or leftover. We're helping a lot of people who are cleaning out great-grandma's house. And there is in the pantry oil from 1986. Well, we don't pour it down the drain. So it'll help at the landfills, it'll help with our water, and we're making it into a biofuel that burns really clean. So it's a win-win-win.
That's good. Speaking of utilities and water and sewer, you also have a water conservation program that you guys work on?
We do. We partner with the DuPage Water Commission, and they have great tablets. Joe, it's amazing. 1 in 5 toilets is leaking.
Yes.
1 in 5 American toilets, and then people forget, but you're paying the water bill and you're paying your sewer bill, so you're paying for it twice. Plus, the world really can't afford for us to waste water. So, the DuPage Water Commission gives us these tablets. There's 2 here. You can check 2 toilets, and if you think about it, if we could check our toilets when we change our clocks twice a year, change the batteries, check your smoke detectors, all that, then we would never waste that water, and we would save a lot of money. So, it's a great project that we're able to partner with.
Great. And maybe one last thing before a quick break here is, can you talk about how how SCARCE has been involved with our Bensenville schools?
Yeah, all of your schools have earned our Earth Flag, Fenton High School, the grade schools. We come out to the schools and work with their family science nights. Okay. We bring our energy bike, or we bring our watershed models. We bring our paper making. We love to do the 3 R's. Just recently we were at Tioga doing, I believe it was 3rd grades, and we were making paper and teaching the kids about the 3 R's, because you can't teach people one time. You don't teach people to read in one visit. It takes new things and new ideas, and new things are recyclable from 5 years ago and even 2 years ago. Right.
So, Kate, last question before our break. How can our viewers actually get more information about SCARCE and how they can help?
Well, come for a tour. That's always, seeing is believing. We have about 80,000 books right now for teachers to come and choose and so forth. But we have a website, www.scarce.org. And there's a Twitter, and there's a Facebook, and all those young people, social media kinds of things. But it's really working because people are busy.
That's great.
And so if they can go on our website and find something really fast, that's great. But give us a call, 630-545-9710. That always works also.
Great. And we'll be right back after this commercial break.
The Water's Edge Aquatic Center is conveniently located in the Redmond Recreational Complex in Bensenville. The Water's Edge is home of Fenton High School and Wahoo swim teams, featuring an indoor 8-lane lap pool and diving well. The Aquatic Center is available for private functions and parties. Learn to swim, stay in shape, or enjoy recreational swimming year-round at the Water's Edge Aquatic Center.
The Bensenville Community Library, serving a community of readers. Whether you're old or young, a lover of words, music, or computers, the library has something for you. Check out our new Kindles, toddler jams, story and movie nights, or a variety of other activities offered. For more information, call us at 630-766-4642 or check out our schedule on the web at benlib.org. The Bensenville Community Library, celebrating 50 years of library service.
Welcome back to Spotlight on Bensenville. My name is Joe Caracci. I'm the Director of Public Works. Again, we're here with Kay McKean from the SCARCE program. We've been learning a lot of different things about what SCARCE does for our communities and recycling and things like that. I know there's a few more programs we want to talk about before we kind of get into some of this fun stuff that you brought in today. So I know one of the programs that we participate in is the no dumping medallions.
Right.
Could you touch a little bit on this? This would be all the stuff that gets dumped down our storm drains.
So it's against the federal law to put anything down a storm drain. You know that, Joe,
right?
I
did know that, yes.
You did know that. And so what we've got to try to do is educate people. It doesn't go to a factory. Some people think it goes to the Water Sanitary Treatment Center and gets cleaned. It does not. It goes directly into Salt Creek or into our rivers and streams. So doing a lot of research, we found these medallions. And they're in English and in Spanish, and talk about no dumping, because sometimes people just think that is a place to pour leftover paint, or you changed your oil in your car.
Right.
It's not the thing to do. And different times of the year people are raking leaves, and that clogs the storm drains and can lead to more flooding. Or if they fry a turkey, they don't want to put the oil down their drain at home, so they put it down the storm drain. And I think they're thinking that it's a vegetable oil, peanut oil, but it is still not good for our water. Correct. And it's still not the right thing. So we work with middle schools and high schools to get these glued to the tops of the storm drains so they're on the curb. Right. So street sweepers and so forth don't take them down.
Yep, I think we'll be seeing a lot more of those here in Bensenville in the future.
Let us know, we're ready.
Yep. And speaking of the things that they dump down the drains, I mean, they're hazardous wastes. I mean, I know SCARCE is very active in hazardous waste recycling, so can you talk a little bit about your program there?
We work really hard to educate, whether we're Rotaries or Kiwanis or civic groups or businesses, about that we have the best hazardous waste site in the whole state of Illinois, in Naperville. And people go, oh, it's all the way in Naperville. Well, there's one in Rockford, right? If you live in Springfield, the closest one is in Naperville. It's open to all DuPage County residents and Lake County and Cook County residents, and we're just so lucky that it's right there. So oil-based paints, right, and those glass mercury thermometers and medicines, and you kind of take their list. It's on their website. It's on our website. Take the list and go through your house and just make one trip. Right. And try not to buy those aerosol cans and things like that again.
And it's all free?
It's all free. It's free for residents to bring their items there, yes.
And how often is it open?
Every single Saturday and every single Sunday, unless it's a holiday, and it's 9 to 2.
Great. Now I really want to get into some of these props you brought in today. It looks like we have a lot of recycling projects that happen with SCARCE, so do you want to take some time and talk about some of these?
Yeah, Joe, it's kind of amazing. We do so much work with kids, schools, park districts, and libraries, and there's broken crayons at every preschool, at every school, churches, everywhere. And that's petroleum. And we have to drill for petroleum and, you know, cart it around the world. So we thought, wow, we're sending that petroleum to a landfill where it'll sit for thousands of years. So we started peeling the broken crayons, sorting them by color, and we get crockpots from resale shops, Goodwill. And we started making crayons for kids who really can't hold on to the small crayons. So these are very specific crayons. They were candle molds originally, wow. Right? So we make those, and then we were working with teachers who work with visually impaired kids. And, you know, a white crayon and a black crayon has the same color wrapper. So you're not going to see it. It's going to make such a small mark. So they know this is a green crayon. And then some of our kids with autism, they don't like the wrappers on crayons. So this is a great answer for that. It meets lots of different kids' needs. We work with occupational therapists, and they'll make a mold of a child's hand, and then we will make a crayon. So this is really a Hershey's Kiss, but it sure works for a little girl named Melissa. This is exactly what she needs.
That's great.
So we have college kids, high school kids, civic groups that come, and they'll set up a Saturday or an evening to make super crayons for us. So we have the crock pots going, and the crayons are melted and sorted, and they'll make crayons for all those kids. We send a lot of crayons to Lurie's Children's Hospital. It's not that you can't color, but if you've been there for a while and you've got terrible procedures going on, maybe a little diversion of a dinosaur crayon or a car. It's reused petroleum, it's reused crayons, but the kids are very delighted at the hospitals where these crayons get to go. So we really like our Super Crayon project, and it's a great project for National Honor Society kids, and people feel really good making crayons and helping kids. And the crayons go to all the organizations for free, teachers who have special needs kids. We do a lot with trying to keep litter out of our water.
Okay.
And so there's a group that they called the Washed Ashore Project. And so all those flip-flops that fall off of people's boats, or you're on the beach and you leave one or lose one, so they collect those and they kind of shave them, and it feels a little bit like suede.
It does.
Isn't that a riot? And they have a little flip-flop on their tummy so you know that they're original.
That's nice.
But it's kind of a fun way to teach people why we don't want to litter. So we have a program called Pick Up 5. And so there are 932,000 people, I think, in DuPage County. And if on one walk a year people would pick up 5 pieces of litter, some of it might be recyclable, aluminum can or whatever, 5 pieces times almost 1 million people is almost 5 million pieces of litter that won't get in our water, won't entrap animals, right?
Yep.
Stay out of our storm sewers, those kinds of things. So that's that. We work with a retired physicist from Fermilab, and he was a bowler. And he realized when he retired he didn't want to move his bowling balls that had little nicks in them, because you wouldn't use those for your league.
That would do damage to your score, I'm assuming.
Yes, and you got to figure those heavy bowling balls are going to last in a landfill 10,000 years or who knows. So it worked hard. He worked hard, found a saw that could cut bowling balls, and then he makes fabulous critters, turtles and butterflies and bumblebees and ladybugs. Creative and reuse for sure. When we work with kids, a lot of programs for kids, they want to know if there's items really get recycled. So this T-shirt is 100% pop bottles.
Pop bottles.
Water bottles, #1 plastic. Now when you feel this,
nice.
Is that the softest T-shirt you ever felt?
That is. It doesn't feel like cotton.
It doesn't feel like cotton. It is softer than cotton. And it's 100% pop bottles. And eventually we'll be able to recycle that just like other fabrics that are
That's
pop
great.
bottles. This T-shirt is unusual. This is recycled X-rays. Now most of your X-rays are on computer and digital and so forth, but these are the old X-rays, also very soft.
Very soft.
Isn't that something? So we're trying to let people know that anything's possible. If we can recycle X-rays into clothes, right, there's no limit. This pen is recycled water bottles and pop bottles, and it looks like the little ridges of a pop bottle. And what's even better about it, Joe, is it's refillable. Like when I was in school, all our pens were refillable. Look at this great little lunchbox made out of lids to root beer or lemonade or whatever kinds of cans. How simple is that?
Easy.
Kind of reuse.
Yep.
When I turned 64, this was a birthday present for me, and these are those pop tabs.
I always wondered what happened with these when I gave them to my kids.
There are a
great.
lot of people creating wonderful art for reuse, right? Artists have reused things forever. I was showing a senior citizen group that purse, and this woman who knows how to crochet, she created this purse with the pop tabs. She's pretty smart because a lot of people visit her now to turn in their pop tabs for her. So she has visitors, her mind is sharp, she's raising money. She gives her purses that she makes to their boutique to raise money for the senior center. So her fingers are good, her mind is sharp, she gets lots of visitors, and she's helping the planet. So that's kind of cool.
That's great.
And then, I'm not sure if everybody's heard about it, but Shed Aquarium has joined 18 other aquariums in a project called Shed the Straw. Americans throw out 500 million straws a day, which is an impossible number.
Right.
There aren't 500 million Americans, so that's more than one a day. And I don't use any straws, so my metal straw is about 8 years old. They have metal straws, they have glass straws that if it breaks, they'll give you a new one. I mean, it's pretty cool. And some people don't even really realize, but a family buys their rice in these big bags, and of course it's got handles, so it's very strong. Well, what a great reuse. It's not garbage. That's a great reuse item. So we work with some groups that are helping people in Nicaragua, Leon, Nicaragua. And so when we get these bags, they go to Leon, Nicaragua. So reuse is so fun.
This is all great. It seems like it's a great program. It seems like it's doing very well. Again, can you repeat how people can get involved? I'm sure you have volunteer programs. You want to get as many people involved as possible. What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
You know, they can call us, really. That is best. But we also have, on our website, there's a place for volunteers to sign up. And we have volunteers that we need for our pumpkin collections and for the cooking oil collection and making the super crayons and doing drives. We're doing a drive called Keys for Conservation, trying to let people know that little things matter. So you have house keys and car keys. You don't even know what they belong to anymore.
Right.
But those are metals. And it took energy and it made pollution. So if we can teach people that little things add up, we can move really far ahead in taking care of the planet.
That's a great message, Kay. Thank you very much for being with us today.
Thanks for inviting me.
This is great. Thank you very much for watching, and be sure to tune in next week for our next edition of Spotlight on Bensenville.